Recording has started. Sorry. Sorry for everyone. Sorry for posting in late. Once again, people of the internet, my name is Unguru87, the one and only currently, apart from my sons who will be coming later. First and foremost, I take this opportunity, this Tuesday chilly evening or night, to once again condole with the family of the Ojwang upon the loss of their one and only son. I also came to learn that Ojwang had a wife and a 3-year-old son, or a kid, let me say kid because I don't know the gender. Unfortunately, I send my sincere condolences to the family, to the friends of those who are left behind, and may God be with you. I would like to talk about something else. I was told it's good to address this issue once and for all. Something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. I've been monitoring and I've been observing, and I think if it doesn't fit, let's just call a spade a spade. It is very unfortunate, and I feel very sad for the people of Homa Bay, for the family, and from the friends and relatives, that the information that was being shared yesterday by the Inspector General and the information we got today with the post-mortem really, and I'm saying they contradict each other. Why am I getting involved into this kind of case personally? Why am I feeling that? More or less, it's like what happened to a person I knew very well, though it's very unclear. Let me tell you, my brothers and my sisters, something a lot of people don't know. You see, on the death certificate of an individual, whoever goes to report or feeds that information in our, what is this building called? They say in the birth registration and death registration, there's a portal there, either a hospital or a chief or a mortuary are the ones who fill that form. If people never knew, let me tell you something. So, if at all what the Inspector General said yesterday is that this individual or the late Ojwang died under his own will, or by the injuries inflicted on his own will, and those instructions or those kind of wordings are put, because if you've checked for those who have been able to look at a death certificate, just the same as a normal birth certificate, there's a place which is written cause of death. If at all, I'm not sure what has been written there, and I'll urge anyone who's connected to the family of the John to kindly make sure they don't forget that clause. I'm sure they have a very good family lawyer. They might forget, but if at that particular point cause of death is written by self-inflicted, then if there be any pursuant of the law, or they're trying to go to the corridors of justice to look for law or justice for their kin, it will be arguing against what is written on the death certificate versus what is written on the post-mortem report. Currently, I'm undergoing the same, and it's been a battle. A lot of people miss this point. It is quite unfortunate. I've been reading and following keenly on a very good friend of mine. He used to work for the National Police Service, and he said that the Inspector General relies on the information that he or she is given. Now, for this matter, our Inspector General is a he. This information was given by the OCS and it's being approved by the OCPD of that particular station. Once he's been given that report, he fully relies on that report. So my question is, if the report that he was given versus what the post-mortem report has issued or given, so which one do we go by? Which one do we, which report does that do we argue about with in the court of law? It is very, you see, let's be factual for once. Which report are we going to argue by? I'm sure the defense here is the police. The complainant is the family. It is very quite unfortunate. How I'd wish if the Inspector General can once again call a press conference and withdraw that statement. If not taken care of, it will be messy and wacky. It's called murky waters. It is very, very quite unfortunate. Very, very quite unfortunate. I urge the family to tread carefully because there are little bit loose pieces each and every step of the way. That family, apart from the death certificate, they should make sure that that post-mortem report is airtight and sealed. Why am I saying so? I was listening again to the individual who will not mention names, but he used to work also for the National Police Service. He was saying that it is very, very crucial that if a subject is admitted to a police station, they usually check the condition of this individual. Have they eaten something? Are they of sound mind? Are they sick? If at all maybe they were injured, maybe they've been saved from a mob justice place, the first step they should take is take this individual to the hospital. Now, you know, there are a little bit of loose pieces that I'm not getting. If at all this individual was brought to this particular police station, the question is on what was his condition? What was his condition there? Are there any written documentation that was done? Are there any photos that were taken? Just in case. There's this one thing I was taught with the former boss of mine is that always have receipts. What do I mean by always have receipts? Receipts doesn't mean necessarily it's the paperwork. Always have like either photo evidence, message evidence, voice evidence, video. Always have this receipt to back up a statement in case something happens. It's quite unfortunate. It's very, very quite unfortunate that what has happened. And once again, I'm very, very puzzled with the legislature of this country. A few weeks ago, it's not even a month. Oh my goodness. Heads were rolling. I wonder what is not happening. Does it mean that the family of Ojwang, they are less of a people or a man or a family in this country? Does it mean that when it's the legislature, the executive, or the judiciary, the cases are being handled different vis-a-vis just the local man? We as a people should learn. Waswahili wa Pembo walisema, you have to learn from the history to determine the future. One of the great brains in the world, Malcolm X Jr., once said that if you do not speak about the things that matter right now, who are we? We'll end up speaking of things that do not matter. People should check. This hula baloo they're doing in the parliament and in the Senate crying, oh, no. The question that should be asked is, in the first place, why was this individual summoned? Why was this individual driven all the way from point A to point B? What was the extent for his damage to acquire him or whoever did whatever did to him mandate to be killed? Something is not right somewhere. Is it that our police officers are acting under anger? Are they acting under orders? Or is it a man-eat-man society? Someone has mentioned today in one of the television stations, I was watching the news, and they were saying, if I'm supposed to be feeling safer in the hands of police, yet in the same hands of police, you end up being dead or hurt. In whose hands are we safe? In whose hands are we safe? That is the question. I don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. Unfortunately, dead people cannot tell no tales. But I'm sure some people somewhere know what happened. Loose ends will be tied. But the truth one day will come out. The truth one day will come out. There's no amount of talks, there's no amount of vlogging, there's no amount of words, there's no amount of kamukunjis we hold that will bring back the family of that individual. If we remember a few months ago or a few years ago, there were also two boys, I think they were brothers, who were murdered. That were, I think, were they from Meru or something? Also, the other blogger who was murdered in Meru. The list is endless. We must talk about it. What is not happening? When did the rain start beating us, Mr. President? Crack your whip. Crack your whip. Something's not right. As I said yesterday, that I cannot even count the number of people who have been killed under unclear circumstances. These cases just take a dovetail. It's quite unfortunate. Here's my parting shot. 1. The family should be very keen in this current case that on the death certificate, the cause of death is as per the post-mortem. 2. The Inspector General should withdraw yesterday's statement, replace it with today's statement, which a government pathologist has issued. 3. At any given time, the same way the government acted on Honorable Were's death, it should also be acted the same on this individual. They are both human beings at the end of the day. Unfortunately, or fortunately, they come from one county. What a coincidence. The governor there, if I were you, I'll really, really question. And apparently also, let me just deviate a bit. One of the media stations was airing another MP whose parents were killed. Apparently, if I'm not wrong, it's also in the same county. What is wrong with this county? Something is not right. Yes, there's an MP whose parents were killed. I think it was 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. I'm not quite sure, but do your research. It has been airing and going around on social media. 4. Apart from Ojwang's murder case, these other cases, the Meru one, the 2 boys, the Yalas, etc., we've never been given any report whatsoever. What really happened? Does it mean that it's just another case? We'll talk about them in closed corners, in open forums, discuss about them, sell our newspapers, then after some time we go back to our normal life? No, I don't think so. It is high time we speak. It is high time we speak. Last but not least, once again, I take this opportunity to condole with the family of Ojwang, to condole with the dad. His strength, his wisdom, everything that God has given him at this time and this juncture is when he needs them the most. I cannot even imagine if he even gets sleep. What about the wife? What about the kid? What about the mom? Too young, too early. May God rest his soul in eternal peace. And may we as a nation wake up and ask ourselves, something is not right. Something is not right. Thank you very much. Catch you later in the day.